Here is the latest news about Saudi Arabia extending its support to Russia to evade the oil sanctions levied by the US. Are they actually working against the US? How much does this support with oil sanctions affect the great economy of the US? Will all the US sanctions end up in a trash can? Let's find out. With support from Saudi Arabia and Russia, OPEC has decided to reduce oil production, causing a major change in the global oil market. The implications of this action for the United States' enduring alliance with Saudi Arabia and its economic prosperity are being scrutinized. This article examines the reasons for Saudi Arabia's choice and its potential effects on the United States. In addition, it examines how Russia is involved in the oil market and works with Saudi Arabia. We'll explore how oil prices affect inflation, higher interest rates, and political outcomes. A security agreement rooted in oil dependency has kept the relationship between Saudi Arabia and the United States intact for many years. The agreement between President Franklin D. Roosevelt and King Abdul Aziz ibn Saud dates back to 1945. A cooperative foundation was set up with this agreement. The U.S. agreed to provide Saudi Arabia security guarantees to access its large oil reserves. Over time, this compact has served as crucial support for the energy market by securing a stable source of oil to drive the American economy. Yet, the decision taken by Saudi Arabia to slash oil production has created apprehension regarding the future of this association. The Saudi government has emphasized that reducing production is a national priority, not diplomacy. They maintain that strategically dealing with their economic and domestic worries makes sense. The aim is not to intentionally confront the United States. This decision of Saudi Arabia supporting Russia with oil sanctions may have implications that primarily affect the United States, as the oil economy of the states will face a lot of heat. In recent years, Russia's significance in the global oil market has increased as it adapted to changing dynamics and asserted its influence. The oil market witnessed a notable development as Russia partnered with Saudi Arabia. The European Union's embargo on seaborne imports of Russian oil products has made this particularly significant. Russia sought new methods to export its oil products after the EU imposed an embargo. Russia has initiated its diesel exportation to Saudi Arabia within this situation. The refining capabilities of Saudi Arabia make it possible for Russia to export its diesel and benefit from this partnership. Refining diesel allows for its exportation to other countries. Although Russian imports are banned, Europe remains the biggest purchaser of Russian diesel. The European market's continued interest in Russian oil products is illustrated by this statement. There was a noteworthy 20% decrease in Russia's oil product exports during February. It reached its minimum point in May of the former year. The fall can be linked to several factors, including shifting market trends, competing oil manufacturers, and varying demands. The flexibility of Russia's exported goods highlights its strategic approach to the oil market. The nation acknowledges the significance of discovering substitute avenues for its petroleum products and assuring steady exports. Russia can target markets beyond the European Union by partnering with Saudi Arabia and utilizing its refinery capacity. Russia's wider plan to diminish its reliance on the European market aligns with this diversification effort. The passage of time has seen Russia confronted with numerous challenges caused by political disagreements and trade restrictions from the West, significantly impacting their oil exports. Thus, Russia has aimed to expand its impact into different regions like Asia, where there is a growing need for energy resources. Also, by working together on oil production, Russia and Saudi Arabia demonstrate a transformation of global energy politics. Formerly considered foes in the oil sector, Saudi Arabia and Russia have realized their shared interests. This collaboration enables each nation to utilize its advantages and maneuver through the complex geopolitical terrain. If implemented as planned, the reduction of oil production, championed by OPEC, Saudi Arabia, and Russia, can greatly affect the U.S. economy. The major contributing factors are companies' preference for profit distribution rather than production expansion, rising U.S. wages, and inflationary pressures. A reduction in oil supply combined with these factors may lead to higher oil prices and negatively impact the U.S. economy. Increased U.S. wages are an initial factor contributing to rising production costs within the shale industry. In recent years, shale oil production has significantly driven U.S. oil output growth. Despite this, increasing wages results in higher labor costs, making shale production more expensive. Hence, corporations can decrease their production activities, leading to slower output expansion. With the reduction in oil supply due to production cuts from Saudi Arabia, Russia, and OPEC, the outcome is likely to be higher fuel costs. Reduced supply and increased production costs increase pump prices for consumers and businesses. Energy input-dependent industries, including transportation and logistics, experience a huge impact due to the rise in fuel costs. The outcome may be higher operating costs for companies and lower disposable income for individuals, which would limit economic growth. The negative repercussions of elevated oil prices in the U.S. extend beyond higher production costs alone. Higher interest rates and inflationary pressures are some of the broader macroeconomic consequences that it can trigger. Increasing oil prices may increase overall price inflation, diminishing purchasing power and limiting consumer spending. Incumbent politicians seeking re-election face challenges due to the significant economic and political ramifications of sustained high oil prices that impact various sectors of the economy. The impact of high oil prices includes increased inflationary pressure. Businesses tend to pass on the extra costs incurred in transportation and production due to expensive oil to consumers. Consequently, this leads to an increase in prices for goods and services that erodes buying power while also reducing the spending capacity of customers. Sectors that are suspect to inflationary prices include manufacturing, retail, and agriculture. Higher expenses for supplies could pose a challenge for businesses to sustain their profits. Also, with rising oil costs comes a domino effect on other products that can lead to an elevation of the general price level, resulting in inflated rates. Besides inflation, continued oil prices could result in elevated interest rates. Interest rate increases may be implemented by central banks if prices rise, and they are constantly monitoring inflation levels. The expense of borrowing may become more costly for businesses and consumers as interest rates climb higher, affecting decisions related to investing or spending. The influence of elevated oil prices is not evenly distributed across every sector and region. Alternative energy sources like renewable energy can become more competitive with higher oil prices for certain sectors. Moreover, nations that export oil could witness economic benefits and a rise in income due to the price surge. Although other countries may not be as affected, those like the United States, which imports oil, face more formidable consequences from persistent high prices. Maintaining unity within the OPEC Plus cartel, consisting of countries producing oil from both inside and outside of OPEC, such as Russia and Saudi Arabia, is critical for coordinating efforts to stabilize the prices of petroleum products. Nonetheless, there is no assurance that this unity will be sustained, particularly as the market dynamics shift and oil prices increase. Higher oil prices incentivize companies to capitalize on increased profits by increasing their production. Increasing production hastily could result in an excess of oil supply, also known as oil glut. The OPEC cartel's endeavors to regulate prices through production reflections are ineffective due to a glut in oil. The cartel's unity and efficiency can be affected if member countries breach the agreed-upon production quotas and participate in competitive production increases. In addition, the OPEC Plus coalition has to manage its members' various interests and priorities. Each country's unique economic and political considerations challenge maintaining a unified front. Unity in cartels can be weakened when there are disagreements regarding production quotas, market share, and revenue distribution. Production cut disagreements led to tensions between Saudi Arabia and Russia in the beginning of 2020. The outcome was a brief price war, which then caused the collapse in oil prices. Former President Donald Trump enacted an upper limit on oil prices as proof of the United States' ambition to reduce its reliance on foreign petroleum providers. The U.S.'s heavy dependence on imported oil to meet its energy needs has been well documented throughout history. The U.S., however, is worried about its energy security and desires greater independence. As a result, it's exploring options to minimize reliance on imported oil. The aim behind imposing a price ceiling is to constrain the sway exerted by foreign oil producers, notably OPEC and its allies. Decreasing dependence on foreign oil suppliers while advancing domestic energy production has been a shared goal between former President Trump and the broader U.S. efforts. This comprises the enlargement of shale oil and gas extraction, The U.S. plans to increase domestic production while reducing imports to achieve greater energy independence. It also intends to reduce the possible effects of worldwide oil price changes on its economy. Despite the coordinated efforts of OPEC, supported by Saudi Arabia and Russia, there remain uncertainties regarding oil production cuts and price stabilization. These uncertainties are putting the unity of OPEC Plus cartel in question. When faced with rising oil costs, some companies may feel compelled to ramp up their output to maximize their earnings potential. This behavior could ultimately weaken a cartel's hold on prices. Subscribe to this channel for the latest news of the world's economy. Reducing oil output has led to strains in the U.S.-Saudi ties after OPEC countries, including Saudi Arabia and Russia, made a joint move. The U.S. is encountering economic struggle. Saudi Arabia's motivations stem from its national priorities rather than diplomatic concerns. However, this could have major repercussions for the U.S. The need for a thorough analysis is emphasized by the effect of high oil prices on the U.S. economy. This includes inflation, higher interest rates, and political consequences. It is highly important to take a variety of preventative measures in order to avoid probable dangers. This video link popping on your screen will take you on a railway tour of Russia with the ultimate destination where U.S. sanctions no longer hold.